Welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute. This is season 3 episode, and I don't honestly know at this point. I think it's 13.
Ooh, it's
whatever it is.
Unlucky.
It's just a number.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, my name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the Village of Mundelein, and you are?
Carrie Lambert. I'm also a trustee in the Village of Mundelein.
I thought you had to look it up there for a moment.
Well, I was wondering if I should give my warning right here, warning, brain not functioning. I'm due in 2 days, so.
Yeah, I actually thought about this when we were starting that by the time I get around to editing this and putting it out online, the baby may be here.
Nah.
No, probably not. Yeah.
And that's not to speak because you're speedy or anything.
No, that's just your...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
You're keeping it.
Yeah.
So, a little disclaimer, it's my house, my cameras. There's no taxpayer dollars in the creation or distribution of this podcast. There's also people here in this house. So, there's, cats and a bird. There's usually a cat here, but not at the moment. There's kids, a wife, cats, and a bird.
So it'll be noisy, whatever. You'll be fine.
Yeah, welcome. So we're talking about the village board meeting and also a committee of the whole meeting from earlier this week on February 27th. So first up was the committee of the whole meeting.
Yep. And
this was a committee of the whole for to hear from our commissions on what's going on.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What are they working on? Their big projects, their goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot. I actually did learn a lot on Monday night.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
So we're not going to go into all the details of it. If you would like more information, the report's not only the verbal portion of it, because you could watch that 45-minute video, but there's also a written portion of it that is on the village website as well, under the meetings and minutes.
Correct.
So I would urge everybody to go and take a look. We heard from the Arts Commission, the Economic, depending on who you are, Development Commission, Historical Commission, and MCC. Although they're not a part of the village,
right.
They are a part of the village.
Right.
So we give them money every year.
They're not a commission.
Correct. We give them a grant every year for part of their operating budget. I think
And they do a lot for the village.
18% of their budget.
Yeah.
We've stepped it down from what it was, but they do a lot. You are absolutely right. So go check that out. It's a very interesting presentation.
All right. Kind of a non-event board meeting.
30 minutes. It was a business meeting. We were
transactional.
It was transactional.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just doing the business that needed to be done for the municipality at this meeting. And sometimes there's more controversial items. Sometimes there's lots of public commentary. Some meetings, there's just a lot more going on.
Yeah,
different
this
presentations
was
or liquor control. Thankfully, none in this one.
For now.
For now, right? Please stop selling to kids. This was a transactional business meeting. So we kicked it off a couple minutes late at like 7, almost 7:20. Did the Pledge of Allegiance and attendance, approval of minutes. In public commentary, there was a gentleman that spoke about traffic in his subdivision on Leeds Court, which is to the south. I had to look it up.
I had to look it up too while he was presenting.
I noticed all of us had our laptops. We were looking at where it was.
It's off of it. Hold on, I got this. It's east. It's south of Butterfield, east of 45. No, it's on Butterfield, east of. No, I got it. Never mind. Shut up.
Can I go now?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so it's just to the north of 45, between 45 and 60 on Butterfield.
Yeah, thank you.
And a little bit over to the west there.
You would never know that that's Mundelein.
Yeah, so I actually looked up the map. I was like, because I know that apartment complex is, and it kind of juts through there.
But the condos behind it is Vernon Hills, and the condos across the street from it are Vernon Hills.
Correct. I know. It's one of those weird parts of the map that it's just kind of all cut out.
Marty would like us to try to make us have square boundaries if we could.
I'm not aware of any boundaries that are circular.
So
there are at least lines.
He wants linear, straight, nice boundaries.
I got a plan for that.
So could you work on that?
Yeah, let's do it. So he spoke about traffic, people running stop signs.
Sounds really annoying.
Speeding through the community while you're trying to walk with your family.
Yes.
And you're right, absolutely annoying.
And he was super annoyed.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
And rightfully so. And he talked about how many times he's contacted the village and had the police department out. And he brought this to the village board on Monday evening to ask for help.
And I will say that the police chief followed him out.
Yeah.
And they talked a long time. So
Yep.
I'll talk to John next week and see what his plan is. But I have an incredible amount of faith in the police chief that he will handle it. But I'll kind of stay on it a little bit.
While he was speaking, I was thinking, hey, we just solved one traffic issue at a school, and
Oh my gosh.
I hope it's working.
So far, so good.
I saw good posts about it on social media, so hopefully we'll
I
see
think
something similar,
John, the police chief, just does things so that I stop bothering him.
if that's what it takes.
Because I think, that stop sign I've been asking for since I was elected to Eric Gunther, who was the police chief then.
Yeah.
And then I ramped it back right up when the issue started again and finally it got done.
Yeah.
So I think John is just like, okay, enough.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see some increased patrols and some police presence in this community and possibly a traffic study if things need to be changed.
Yeah, and I think also that knowing that if you're ever in an uncomfortable situation, you can call in a special patrol and they'll come through your hood and make sure everything's good. Oh, that rhymed. Yes.
You're a poet. Didn't even know it.
I think, not feeling confident enough to call the police, not 911, but just call the non-emergency and say, there's punks driving through my neighborhood blowing stop signs. Can you just come circle the neighborhood?
Yeah, and they will.
And they will.
Yeah. So that was it for public commentary. Next up was presentations and awards. It was our only presentation was the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System presentation.
Say that 5 times fast.
No.
No.
So this has to do with the MS4, which I couldn't tell you exactly what it stands for, but it's a stormwater permit that the village has to have and get through the EPA, and we have to do these presentations annually.
And they have to, and our discharge has to be monitored.
Correct. Yeah.
Oof, what an awful sentence to say.
It is an awful sentence to say. So this presentation consisted of an individual coming up and presenting that they were going to present on the MS4, explained what the MS4 was, told us this is what the discharge pipes look like, and said that's the presentation. Have a good day. And that checkbox was completed for
we're good to go for the year.
EPA permit. So they'll be back next year to do this again. And this is just part of that process. No public hearings. Under the mayor's report was a CBRE management agreement extension. So we extended our property management agreement.
And Trustee Wilson asked, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And the village administrator responded with, well, there's been some cost savings with it. It protects the village asset. We're able to step away from it and not spend village manpower monitoring it.
And that's just it.
And the village should not be property managers.
Right.
So we own the Archer Business Center. This is what this is for. This was bought
years ago.
Before.
I couldn't even tell you. Before we joined the board, it's been an asset that is now turning to the positive.
Yeah.
After we've paid off some of that debt, and it's now a positive asset for the village.
It's where Tighthead is.
Yeah, Tighthead and a couple of other businesses. And as a property manager, I would say absolutely this shouldn't be something that the village is doing. If it's leasing out some small space upstairs in Village Hall, that's one thing. Managing an entire building is something different. Yeah. And I'm glad that they're using a professional company, having good results, and extending it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Pounding on the floor.
I think they're
upstairs.
dancing.
Yeah. So under trustee reports, we had community and economic development. Station 250, they asked for permission to stage some equipment on village-owned
Trustee
property.
Russell wasn't there, so it was you,
Trustee
man.
Russell, so I had to do that one. So we gave him permission to stage equipment on village property. Yes. And they just have to return it to what it was and maintain it.
Right. So the next two were...
Next two had to do with the Uhaul.
And you didn't make the motion, so tell me why you did that.
So I knew that I was going to oppose at least one of these.
Got it. And per Robert's rules...
Per Robert's rules, which our ordinance says we have to follow, you can't make a motion, speak against it, and vote against it. So I asked Trustee Wilson to make that motion, and he did. So I actually voted in favor of the first one after checking with staff. The first one was just annexing that property into the village. And when you annex into the village, regardless of what the zoning is today,
it comes in as
R1.
Exactly.
So, sure, annex in, love to have you.
Welcome to Mundelein.
Welcome to Mundelein. I did not like their proposed use for it.
So, that being said, we saw this concept, I have no concept of time, 6 months ago?
Not even.
Fair. Whatever amount of time ago.
Not long ago.
And you vehemently opposed it. And I said, ugh, I don't love this.
Right.
And I thought Sol didn't love it either, but I can't remember now.
No, I think it was just you and I.
Just
that
you.
opposed
Oh,
it.
well, we're the annoying ones. And here's why we didn't like it at the time. I didn't like it because these storage unit facilities really don't bring a lot of, like, awesomeness to town. Also, the plan for this... How do I say this diplomatically? Is not lovely.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it is going to look like it's massive because of the topography of the land.
So that's what really did it for me, was the building itself is way outside of the characteristic of the area.
Yes.
And that is actually one of the requirements for granting a variance.
Yeah.
Is does the proposed structure change the characteristic of the area?
Yeah.
And I would argue, yes, absolutely it does. This is a 4-story building that's going to be at least 10 feet taller than everything else in the area.
And, I mean, I think it's worth noting, you pointed this out, I think, when they presented, 45 dips there.
Yeah, so 45 dips. So they're saying that the building will be 50 feet off of grade, off the ground. But as you go down, that railroad underpass there
Is an underpass.
is huge,
Yeah.
right? So that's an extra 15, 20 feet. So that's going to look like a ginormous building in comparison to what's around it.
Yeah.
So it just, to me, it didn't fit. I didn't like the use of the land. It just wasn't my favorite. Okay. But to me, it just had to do with the aesthetics and the way that it was being positioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
So-
lost.
So I voted no. So did you.
I voted no.
And the board will continue.
Can you
Uhaul
help
is
me?
coming to Mundelein.
Can you explain this to me?
I'll try.
So it was 4-2. No, 3-2.
3-2.
That's not a tie. Why did the mayor have to vote?
The mayor votes not in a tie. Robert's rules again. The mayor doesn't vote in a tie. The mayor votes anytime their vote would change the outcome. Or could change the outcome.
And so if he had voted no, then there
It
would
would
have
have been 3-3 and
And then
failed
what?
motion.
It's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
So
didn't. Okay.
so it wasn't because it was a tie. It's a common misconception because that's usually what we
Yeah.
see, right?
Yes.
It's a 3-3 split, and the mayor votes. In this instance, 3-2. If the mayor voted no,
Right. Okay.
3-3 fails.
Got it.
4-2 it passed.
Okay. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Moving on. Whatever. Will of the board.
Will of the board.
We
Welcome
tried.
to Mundelein. Yep. Next up was Public Works Committee. So we had a IDNR. So we opposed we created a resolution
To
opposing.
oppose this IDNR mandate.
Yeah, an
Which
IDNR.
to me sounded
Like a fee, like a tax.
kind of like a... Yeah, but unfunded. Like there was no way to do it. Like how are we going to come up with money to do it?
Yeah, so
Sounds like IDNR was trying to mandate us to do something and...
So IDNR was trying to mandate us to pay a fee based on the water usage that we take out of the lake, out of Lake Michigan.
Right, which we
Based-
already pay Jawa for.
We pay Jawa for, and that fee is based on the acreage, the size of the Village of Mundelein. And they couldn't tell us what exactly they were doing with the money. They had some ideas with it.
Which, if you charge a fee,
Yeah, fees have to be
Tied
directly
to-
related to an item, an outgoing expense.
exactly.
Yep. Taxes are broad, can be brought in for any reason.
Right.
Fees have to be associated to an actual cost.
Correct.
No cost, no fee. We opposed it.
Say no.
That's right. So, Finance Committee was up next. Speaking of fees and spending money, Finance Committee, we spent $73,712.98 to buy Microsoft 365 licensing. And this is, it hurts.
As a tech nerd, was it like hurting?
As a tech nerd, I was looking at that going, huh, Microsoft, really?
I should ask Rusk about that.
But also, this is how Microsoft stays in business, is licensing fees. This is just like that Audible subscription that gets billed to your credit card every month, you
Yeah.
know? It's subscription-based is the way of business today. And
we have no choice, really.
we have no choice besides going to another product
Good luck.
other than Microsoft. And this is where the Village is at today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good luck.
$73,000 for 3 years, not 1 year, 3 years.
That's
thankfully.
okay. Yeah.
Thankfully. The next was the volume cap allocation for 2023. So we partner with other area villages. This is a clearinghouse for bond activity. through the Village of Buffalo Grove and Lake County Partners
Which we do
every year.
Yeah.
Packaging bonds together, better rates.
Better rates. Yeah.
Yep. And then next was our governing body bill approval for $1,324,831.12.
Pretty standard.
Pretty standard, like we've said, between $500,000 and $1.5 million.
Yes.
That
was it.
Public safety.
That's me. No motions, nothing to report from police. Right? No.
That's right.
But fire reported on their blood drive, and they beat their previous month, but they didn't. They were 1 unit short of their goal.
Yeah, their goal 66 units. They hit
Collected
65. Yep.
But it was a PR.
And
Still.
that's true.
PR.
And 7 Alex donors.
Yes, I don't know what that means.
That's the double reds or the plasma.
Oh.
Yeah.
I should know
It
that.
takes longer, but it's better for
In my
the
past life,
person receiving it.
I used to sell plasma derivative products, actually. But I've never heard it called Alex donors.
I'm not sure what that. I'm sure it's an acronym. I just
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
But this was like where you like sold your plasma. Like, you know, when you were trying to make money in college to go to the bar, you sell your plasma.
All right.
Anyways.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I know. Lots of exciting stuff.
Look, I love the whole giving blood. I think it's an amazing contribution to be able to give back. Like, I think that's a really
Did you
cool
just say I love giving blood?
I actually do.
Okay.
I just cannot wrap my head around the giving blood and then having it put back in, like taking the double platelets out and the plasma,
and then just pumping you back in.
and that just weirds me out. Like, take it all you want.
Just don't give it back.
I don't want it
once
back.
Once it's out.
Yep.
I'll make more of it myself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll come back in 8 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good day. So that was it for public safety. Nothing for building. Nothing for transportation. No other reports. No executive session. And
Wait, you forgot the omnibus.
oh yeah, the omnibus. I flipped the page too fast.
Whew, Speedy Gonzalez. Chill.
I was trying to wrap this up. Okay, so omnibus.
You're just worried I'm gonna have this baby right now.
It's true.
Get out, get out.
Yep. So sewer lining project on North Lake Street. So this is a purchase order for $37,251 for sewer lining.
Necessity.
Necessity, yep. And it's cheaper than digging up the street and putting in.
I was just
new
about to
pipes.
say, take care of the stuff you have before it breaks. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Mundelein downtown properties. So we did a replacement TIF note for $285,533. So this is pretty standard for us too.
Yep.
And then nothing for reports from staff, attorney, or clerk. No executive session. And are we done?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
The next board meeting is March 10th. I gotta look.
March 10th sounds right.
Okay,
And
March 10th.
we'll take bets to see if Kara has a baby by then.
No, not March 10th. I'm dumb. Sorry. March 13th. The 10th is a Friday.
We're still taking bets to see if Kara has a baby by then. March 13th. And due date is Friday, so that would be 10 days past due date
With your third.
with a third kid. So, we'll see.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. We'll see you after the next board meeting. And that won't be early voting quite yet.
Early voting starts.
Actually, early voting starts that day.
The 13th?
The 13th at
The courthouse.
The courthouse. The 20th in
Yes.
the rest of the county.
Yes.
So start making your plans to vote.
It's nerve-wracking to think about.
Ah!
Okay.
Yep, it's that time. It's happening. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.